Internet, internet, internet. We need to talk. You ever get something, I don't want to say you get it wrong, but let's just say it's not quite right for a long time. And maybe not a long time, but long enough where all of a sudden it just gets so right when the stars align and your hand is really washed out by the light. And you just, all of a sudden it happens and it's right. King of the Sea pouch, Carver's Customs, has something in it. And what it has in it is this. Okay, what do we got here? You've seen something like this before on the channel. In fact, 3 times before. We've looked at the, can we call it the OG portal? Yeah, let's call it the OG portal. We've looked at the OG portal. Then we looked at the tungsten portal. And then we looked at the stainless steel portal. And now we have a titanium portal. And let me tell you, I bumped the camera right when I was going to make a point. This is where it's at. Holy jeepers. Would you look at them peepers. So all serious, all silly talking aside, let's take a look at the spinner. Let's get in there and take a look. Now, first thing you're obviously noticing is that, what is up with the color? Well, I wanted to try something. I wanted to play around with some anodizing, and that was the biggest reason I wanted to pull the trigger on this. I had gotten that stainless steel one, and I liked it well enough, and I had the tungsten one before, and the tungsten one is just a beast. It's just very, very, very heavy. But if you like that sort of thing, like it's hard to beat it, right? It's just got these big old meaty arms that once you start throwing tungsten weight in, that 2.5 times the weight of stainless steel really starts ramping up real quick. You put an extra, 10 grams of stainless steel in there, you're putting an extra 25 grams in tungsten, and that adds up real quick. But anyway, I saw this post for someone looking to trade this titanium portal for a stainless steel one from Ziga. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Z-I-G-A with some little, I don't know, not US English symbols over the letters, and I don't know how to pronounce it properly. But anyway, he actually won one of my giveaways as well. So I literally just sent him something like the week before, and then it would have been great to get everything going at once. But yeah, he was looking to trade this out, and at first I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it. And I'm like, you know what, it's titanium. I wanted to play around with anodizing a little more, and it just happened to be serial number 22. Like, if you know me and you watch my channel on the internet, that's like a sign. That's a sign from the gods saying, Tim, do this. So I went ahead and did it, and got it a few days ago. And it had a 1-drop bearing in it, and immediately I said, nope, get out of there. I spun it like 4 times and was like, get out of there. So I threw one of Hex hybrid ceramics in there. His version 1s, which have the that rust coating on them, so they're not the best spin times, but we're not really worried about spin time with this. So anyway, I wanted to anodize it, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be nice if we anodize this in a really cool way with these lines? We could do different colors for each one, and when it warps, it blow your mind. That actually worked pretty well. Not gonna lie, that was on the spot. That wasn't rehearsed. That wasn't. That just happened. Anyway, so yeah, so I put. Sorry about that. I'm more angry at myself, internet. It's not you, it's me. So I put nail polish on all the edges, and then along the face of this, and tried to line it up with these little swirl marks. And then left basically 2 lines undone here. So actually I think this is probably, yeah, so this would have been the first thing. So this line here and this line here is what I anodized first, because when you anodize, if you anodize at really high voltage, unless you go over that voltage, it won't change the color. So if I get this color at say 100 volts, I'm not going to get it I'm not going to change that color unless I go over 100 volts. So that's sort of how you get different colors. So I go up to 100 volts and then I remove some nail polish and then I go to 90 volts and then 80 volts and so on, etc. Or for whatever color you're looking for. And you can kind of go through the colors twice, and then once you start getting over the 100 range, you should in theory start getting some reds and greens and stuff, which the machine I've got in theory can go that high, but I haven't quite gotten it to get me those colors and get a consistent voltage that high. So I still need to do some playing around. Neither here nor there. But what I found, and it's probably me just rushing through it, I certainly let the nail polish more or less dry. Like I wasn't really like, it wasn't like sticking to my fingers or anything. But when I got it at those really higher volts, you would see it start to like bubble almost a little and kind of like get water under the nail polish, so it started to kind of wear it away. And then when I did the next layer, I did it again, and I really tried to crank the voltage up, trying to get really high, and I didn't quite get there. So I got this purple, and then what I was going to do is try to get you know, something close to a red or a green, and then a purple, and then a blue. And I didn't quite get there, and then I kind of screwed the pooch, since when I did the next line, which this is the second line, you can see in certain lights it's a different purple. Like this second one's a little more pinkish. Let's see if we can find one that shows. Yeah, so right here, right? So this is the purple, and then this here is that pink. Is sort of like the second purple. So I didn't quite get the colors I was looking for as even, and then the last one I just kind of went blue. But you can see the nail polish started to peel off in certain places. So I still got some playing around to figure out the best way to get nice clean things. I think you really need to use tape, but the problem is getting tape on here, getting it cut just right. I don't want to scratch the spinner. So who knows? So it actually kind of looks like, I'm calling this the topographical pattern, because it almost looks like it reminds me of a map. And then this is a lower voltage blue. So this purple was really high. The next one wasn't quite as high, and then this one was pretty low. This was the first blue that you really kind of get to at like 22, 20, maybe closer to 30 volts. And then I did the outside at like a goldish, bronzish color, right around 22 volts. So anyway, it looks not too bad. What it really looks good is when we're doing this. Look at how good that looks. So this bearing might need a clean. It might be a little noisy, but I kind of like the feedback in it, and it's a pretty quiet room, so I'm really hearing it right now. But look how good it looks warping with those purples and blues, man, with like the gold on the outside. I don't know. I love how the profile, the light show that this thing does. I haven't been able to get it to warp yet. We haven't had really enough sunlight for me to do warping, but in theory, these colors should kind of almost animate down, so maybe we can get some warps at some point and throw them in, or if you follow me on Facebook and stuff like that, I'll definitely post that there when that happens. But anyway, we've talked for 7 minutes mainly just about anodizing in the finish and not really about the spinner, because I kind of led you to believe this was pretty amazing, and holy poop internet, is it amazing. You know, the previous portals I liked well enough, and I was certainly impressed with them, and they were well machined. But this just takes it to a whole new level. So let's weigh it real quick. We'll get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about spin times. Now, it is titanium. I wasn't too worried about spin times, and this bearing could maybe potentially need a clean. I'm not sure. So this probably, but again, a titanium spinner, you're not really worried about spin times, especially when it goes over 2 minutes. So we're looking at about just right around 2 minutes on a table spin I got with this guy. And you can see we're at 53-ish grams. Right over 2 minutes on a table spin and about 3.5 minutes on a vertical spin. So nothing crazy for spin times, but let me tell you, it feels like it's gonna spin a long time. It doesn't feel like it's slowing down with the amount of fidgeting you do, right? Most of the time fidgeting like this, right, you're lucky, you know, watch the time, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. 3 seconds, and that feels almost like an eternity, right? So it doesn't feel like it slows down, and it's fast. It feels fast, boy. Let me tell you, with that hybrid ceramic in there, you get that little bit of feedback, you get that little bit of noise. Feels like she's racing. So it's got a really, really high fidgetability, and in this reduced weight, it's even closer to like the fidgetability you see with something like a Trithrax, but then you get the Portal format, which I just love. Something about that reduced weight from milling out the arms in the Trithrax makes it super fidgetable. And then this guy just is in that range, but then you get that Portal light show. And again, especially most of the time I'm going to be spinning it. And let me tell you, I like how that purple looks spinning there. Look at that blurple. Oh, it looks good. So I still have a long way to go with my anodizing. Some of it almost looks a little muddy or a little dirty because you've got, depending on where it is, if you're not getting the light reflecting on the swirl marks from the portal, right, from those machining marks. It kind of looks like a little gray, and I found those higher colors don't seem to be as vibrant as the lower colors. So unless you can really get to those greens, oh, look at that, look at that. Would you look at it? You probably would know what to do if you just looked at it. But yeah, what's wrong with me? But yeah, so it feels just like with all the portals, right? You got these machining marks here, but you close your eyes, you can't feel a thing. It feels so good right there. Internet, I'm gonna need a moment. Yep. The edges on this are just splendid. Let's spin it like this. Like, it just looks good spinning. Look at the little light show she does. Well, that won't really work. I guess I could just hold it and do that. But just the way it plays with the light, no matter how you're spinning it, like low spins on this guy just look nice. It's almost like a disco ball. Disco. Disco. Little TriPortal disco, and then you can certainly disco that. Look at that. We just give it the right rotation. So good. Balance. I don't think I've actually tested the balance with this now that I'm thinking it, but let me just feel it first, because honestly, it feels dead smooth. It's got to be close to perfect. I wouldn't expect much else from Emerson over at Random Fabrications, which yeah, doing some killer work over there. So so these edges feel so nice. You know, I heard him giving someone a hard time. I think he was talking about, someone was talking about the edges off machine things being like a little too sharp, and then he was sort of, Emerson likes to troll. If you don't know anything about Emerson, if you know one thing about him, there's only one thing you need to know about Emerson, and then it's that he likes to troll, I think is the sentence I'm trying to say. I'm not really getting the phrasing right. But anyway, he was like giving someone a hard time, as he is wont to do, about having like soft baby fingers or something like that, and worrying about the machining marks. But let me tell you, especially on this weight, like these edges, I've said it before, I've said it again, they are just so acute with not a burr or blemish to be found. Like, these are masterfully machined. I've said it before, I'll say it again, masterfully machined, but especially with the weight and the tie, it feels really good on your fingers. Like, these hard edges, certainly not a hot spot. Even if you're someone that has these baby fingers and in tie, like, that just feels so good. Like, you feel the spinner. This would be a completely different experience, and nowhere near as enjoyable if these were rounded edges. So especially this portal in titanium, in the Tri format, for me, of all the ones I've tried, is far and away the winner. And I like the other one, so that should tell you something, that I think this is far and away the winner. And again, that's partially for me. We haven't even really talked about real fidgeting yet, but like pushing, great. Pulling good here. Flicking, interrupting the spin, starting the spin, stopping the spin, stop it, start it, interrupt it while it's spinning, keep it going, rocking, get your finger in there, push it, flick it, pull it, push it, pull it, flick it, do it, spin it. Portal buttons, fantastic as always. So big old nice wide grip buttons, really dig, plenty of grip, fantastic. So yeah, I don't know what else we could say about this TriPortal other than titanium is so where it's at. And I've had some other titanium spinners and they just all feel too light, but this is big enough and enough titanium where internet, bad things to say, get the out of here. Bad things to say about this. Not a thing I can say bad about this, in my opinion. We're getting too very enthusiastic. Look at these thumbs, just they're just right up there. Awkward, as awkward as they can get. So maybe it's at 2.5, because we're like a quarter over with each of them. Really endorse this one right here. So and again, that's for me, this is where it's at. But I seem to be hitting the same spot that a lot of other folks out there are hitting. Like, a lot of people that seem to pick up spinners that I've had and reviewed seem to share my sentiments. So I'm betting that someone picks up this titanium portal. Even if you've got other portals, you're going to enjoy it. Nothing wrong with the other portals, and especially if you like that extra weight. I know Zigga was really happy when he got his. So he got his and let me know, like, yeah, it arrived safely. The weight was good. He was really happy with it. So, and again, my spinners are, my taste is pretty eclectic. Some spinners I love heavy. You know, I love my Tri-Fidget. I love, you know, my Nautilus, which is a big heavy bear. Yeah, this one in titanium is just so sweet. So anyway, internet, we've been spinning it. We've been talking on it. Hopefully you see something. I'm pretty sure he still has some in stock. I meant to check before I uploaded this video, or before I recorded this. I haven't uploaded it yet. So maybe I'll remember to check and see if they're in stock and add a little, mother. Oh, look who's over there. Hi. You just peeked in the frame, didn't you? So did you. They're just kind of on the edge of the frame here. They're just things I've been working on. So working on trying to, you know, I just wasn't really happy with the finish of this guy. So I've been playing around with flaming it and then stone washing it. So the machining marks are gone, but I don't know, we'll play around with this more. That's not what we're here for. We're here to say, kisses, internet.